Alright, hello guys, Nerd Squared here, and this will be a little bit of an update video. Usually for updates I use paste bins and post them on my Twitter and Discord, but this time around I decided to do a video instead. And with this video I'll be updating you on 5 specific things within my speedrunning life, just so you know what's going on. And in case you're wondering what this video is in the background that's just having a hard time playing, it's my current PV in Outlast All Chapters. I accidentally paused the video. Anyway, the first thing of the 5 points I'll talk about is SGDQ. I managed to get one of my runs in, finally. And the run that ended up getting in was Mater D any %. I think that run will go pretty well in terms of commentary, especially, but I honestly think the gameplay might be a little shaky. Again, I think it will go pretty well, but the gameplay might be a little shaky because there's a new trick that I managed to find today, which, to put it nicely, completely breaks the game and ends up making the run about 1.5 to 2 minutes faster. I got a 7:10 run with it earlier today, or 7-minute 10-second run with it today, and that run still had plenty of mistakes to where I can get a 640 or so with it. So the run got significantly short, significantly shorter because of this new trick. And this new trick also, conveniently enough, makes the GDQ showcase of the run a lot more fun to watch because of how silly the trick looks. So it's a win-win situation in that sense, I guess. So overall, I think the run will go well with both commentary and just the fact that it's a silly and fun game to watch, but the new trick might cause things to go south in a few places. And the second thing with SGQ that I want to talk about is that a run of similar silliness, or a run of a game of similar silliness to Mater D, got in, and it's I Am Red that will be ran by Blood Thunder. Right off the bat I already know that's going to be a really fun run to watch because Blood Thunder is just such a good marathon runner in general, and he's such a fun guy to watch. I'm potentially couching for that marathon run because I have some knowledge of the I Am Red speedrun, and in fact, Blood Thunder is opening up the possibility of incentives for that run, considering there's a lot of game modes in that game besides just the main story that he'll be running. I run the Bagel Race mode within that game, so I could potentially do Bagel Race as a donation incentive on top of my Mater D run, and also couch for the I'm Red run, but I honestly would just have to ask Blood Thunder for permission for both of those things. And while I am potentially couching for that run, there's several runs I also want to be on back couch for. Anyone who hasn't seen GDQs, I'll explain what back couching actually is. Basically, it's just a group of spectators that are watching the run on a television screen that's behind the front couch. With anyone who's familiar with GDQs, just basically think of the back couch as the front couch, but without co-commentators. That's basically what the back couch is, just a group of spectators. And there's a few runs that I want to be on the back couch for, in particular, and those runs are Half-Life Any % by Alex, who's a pretty cool member of the Raisefire community, Oro doing Hollow Knight 80% glitchless. I've asked him in his Discord if I could back couch for it, and he pretty much said yes. Of course, that's assuming on the days I attend. That's assuming the run is on the days I attend the marathon. So we'll see. And the last last run of the 3 that I want to potentially back couch for is Pokemon Heart Gold Any % by Kizaron. So those are the 3 runs I want to back couch for. Obviously, plans will change because of the schedule releasing. So we'll see. And in general, the schedule is actually pretty good. There's a lot of runs that I wanted to see that got in, and some that I wanted to see that got in runs I wanted to see that didn't get in particular Resident Evil 7 I really wanted to see, but it unfortunately didn't get in. And there's a few particular runs I want to highlight on the schedule. I already mentioned IMD and I'm Red, I mean, and Mater D. But there's also Half-Life 2 New Engine by Woobly. Nora did a pretty good run at last year's AGDQ of the same run, but it's been a year and a half since that run as of SGDQ. Or when SGDQ will happen, or it'll already have been about a year and a half since that run happened, so obviously there's some updates to the route. I haven't seen the new route, because the last time I saw a Half-Life 2 run was pretty much when Noir did his AGDQ run. So we'll see what new route changes are in that route. Final Fantasy VII 80% no slots by Ajneb. This is significant because this is the first time any run this long has been in a GDQ for a long time. To give you an idea, the estimate for this category is 8 hours flat, and runs typically go at 7 hours 30 minutes if you're on decent pace, but probably more like 7 hours 45 minutes to 7 hours 50 minutes if you're on a marathon type of run. So that gives you an idea of just how long Final Fantasy VII is. And it'll be interesting to see the kind of run that Ajneb does, because I haven't seen Final Fantasy VII at a marathon in a long time. The last time it was ran was AGDQ 2015, and that was with the PC version with a glitch route. So it'll be interesting to see Final Fantasy VII at a marathon again. Divinity Original Sin by Dr. T-Chops and Shaddix. T-Chops and Shaddix already, like Blood Thunder, are very entertaining, very entertaining marathon runners. So it'll be interesting to see them run that. They did a similar kind of run with Judge Dredd, I think. Either Judge Dredd or Dr. Dredd at last year's SGQ, and that was pretty entertaining as well. Doom All Secrets by the Fun Cannon. I've seen Doom 80% a lot, particularly on Azoro's stream, since I am a mod on his stream. But, so Doom All Secrets will be definitely a bit of a fresh take on the game, because I haven't actually seen an All Secrets run. And that's considering I've seen 80% of the game a lot, so I know what the game's, like, kind of what the game's like as a speedrun, even though I haven't actually done it because my computer's crap. So we'll see how that goes with Doom All Secrets. It'll be pretty interesting. And Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Noah Bounds by Garish. I've seen Bullets run that category for Valuathon 2, which I ran 100%, Outlast 100% at. And that's a pretty interesting run, especially with the shenanigans that can end up happening. And if the leaderboard times are anything to go by, with Garish having the world record, I'm assuming he's pretty good at the game, so that will be interesting to see too. Alright, and that's everything with SGQ. And now we'll go on to some new speedruns I'm either currently in the process of learning or I'm putting off for a little while. The first is Sonic 06 Shadow No MSG. I originally said a month ago I was going to learn it, but it's a month later, and I still haven't run it. I even put a tweet out when I originally said I was learning the game. I put a tweet out, and Triple Agent even, my favorite Sonic 06 runner, responded to it. So to say the least, I was a bit disappointed in myself when I got lazy with learning the run. And I'm putting it off until June, not because I'm completely dropping the speedrun, but because during the month of, during the end of April and pretty much all of May, and maybe some of June, I'll be playing Outlast 2 a lot because I'll be doing that blind race on the 29th, and I'll be occupied with speedrunning it a lot during May, and that's not even counting the amount of school days that occupy a lot of the week, obviously. So I'll be putting it off until June, but I won't be completely dropping it. I'm also currently learning Diamond 80% glitchless because I want to run a category other than 80%. Basically, I want to learn the other Gen 4 categories like Platinum 80% and this category, 80% glitchless for Diamond and Pearl. And it's making decent progress, but the beginning hour and 10 minutes with the Lucky Egg manip makes it a bit difficult to even progress and learn the rest of the route. but I'll eventually get there, I'm pretty sure. And I'm also learning the Sunshine 80% speedrun. My history of speedrunning started with Mario, so it makes sense, in a sense, that I would pick up Sunshine at some point, especially considering it's been very popular at GDQs lately. And I'll be learning that I'll be learning that run during the period where I do Outlast 2 runs, just as a little side thing. Like, I'll probably do a session of Outlast 2 speedruns, and then learn more of Sunshine. The last of the new speedruns that I'll be learning is Splinter Cell Conviction. Just a few days ago, I played through the game, the fifth Splinter Cell game, Conviction, obviously, on PC, on Steam. And it was, within that, I think it was a 6 or 7 hour playthrough. So within that 6 or 7 hours, it just became my favorite game in the series, tied with the first game, because it was just so fun and had such a good story. And I also hadn't played Splinter Cell in general in a while, or at least in long play sessions like that, so it really reminded me just why I love the series so much, because it's so goddamn fun. And in fact, it was so fun to me that I ended up routing one of the levels in the game, or missions in the game technically, since it's a stealth game, for speedrunning. Already. So I guess I pretty much decided at that point that I was going to speedrun the game, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue routing out the levels with my own strats. And that's in quotation marks, because what I'll actually do towards strats is I'll look at the second place leaderboard times and kind of copy strats off of that run, but not really. I'll adapt the strats to make them my own by changing them a little bit. So that'll happen with Conviction. And I think my first run will probably be an hour and 40 minutes, because I'll probably have a lot of deaths in my first run. Alright, so that's on from the speedruns I'm either considering learning or I'm currently in the process of learning. The other thing is speedruns I want to improve that I'm doing right now. And the first of those 4 is Resident Evil 7. I picked it up a couple of months ago for the 12-hour challenge. But that was on console, where it's basically a much worse speedrun. So, but I recently got the PC version, which is a lot better for speedrunning, and I ended up completing Madhouse, which allowed me to get the final New Game Plus item I needed, the infinite ammo, to do the proper New Game Plus route, and actually with the fact that I now know that route, to potentially be able to compete with the leaderboard times. I currently have a 1:38:27 according to the in-game timer, since that's how the game is timed. And I'm thinking of going forward either a 1:33 or 1:32, also on the in-game time. And I don't know just how badly that will go, considering that the intro to that game is one of the worst parts of the run for me. Well, we'll see how that goes, and I'm pretty sure I'll get to that 1:32 or 1:33. I'm not saying it won't take effort, but I know I'll get there eventually. But it might be a bit hard considering how optimized the game is by this point. Alright, so the second thing within speedruns I want to improve that I currently do is Pokemon XY. Now, I don't run that game very often because it's such a long run. It's about a 4-hour run for me, 4.5 hours or so. So, obviously because of the length, I don't run it that often, so I'll just do it as a side goal sort of thing. And I don't really run these long RPGs very seriously, I just do them for fun. But I do still want to improve my time a little. I wanted to shoot for a sub 410 because the runner of the game, again named Oro, who I mentioned earlier is running Hollow Knight at SGDQ, he pretty much agreed to do a practice room race with me at SGDQ. We'll decide all the details about that on the spot, but we're basically going to do a race of the game in the SGDQ practice room. For reference, he has a 354 in the game and I have a 426, but it might all come down to a particular encounter that we have to get around an hour into the run that could potentially waste minutes. So we'll see with that. And I'm also learning relearning Pokemon Moon. I've learned the route before, but didn't do runs because it's a 5.5-hour run. And recently I decided to go back to the game because there was a reroute that a runner named Garfield the Lightning came up with. So I figured I might as well relearn the game because of that reroute. I don't like with XY. I don't think I'll run it that often, which is partially due to the 5.5-hour length. But that will be fun to do occasionally. The third thing with speedruns that I currently do is I'm going to actually be taking a break from Outlast 1 speedrunning. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to quit the game, but I will be taking a little bit of a break from Outlast 1 because around a week after this video comes out, or around 9 days after this video comes out, Outlast 2 will be coming out. And because of my hype that I built up for that game, I'll more than likely just lose motivation to speedrun Outlast 1 because of Outlast 2 being out and the speedrunning craze that I'll have with that game, especially once I do the blind race with Andy and Azaro that I'll mention later. So I'll be taking a break from Outlast to focus on Outlast 2. That'll probably continue until June or so, and I'll go back to 100% to get a somewhat decent PB. And the last thing with speedruns I currently do is I'll be running Fatal Frame 5 and Super Mario Galaxy again. This is mainly, with SMG1, it will be mainly to get a sub 3, which is in Luigi any percent, or any percent Luigi, which is one goal that I've had for about a year and never met, partially because I took such a long break from Super Mario Galaxy. And with Fatal Frame 5, I'll still run easy on New Game Plus, but I want to run Nightmare difficulty somewhat soon because I think that'll be an interesting run to do, given the fact that it's obviously the highest difficulty of the game. So both of those games will be interesting to get back to. It'll also be a nice, both of them will be nice chill runs to do, because of the fact that they're 3 to 3.5 hours long. Alright, so we have a couple of big points left, and the first of those final two big points is Outlast 2 that I mentioned earlier. I kind of briefly mentioned it when I talked about taking a break from Outlast because I'll be hyped from Outlast 2. And the reason for that is because a few days, or about 4 days after the game actually comes out, I'll be doing a blind race of the game with two runners of Outlast 1, Zoro, whose stream I'm a mod in. Huge shouts to Azaro, he's a pretty good friend of mine within the speedrunning community, and Andy Rockin', or just Andy, and he is a absolute god at Outlast 1, and to be honest, is probably going to be the first person to break Outlast 2. And this race will happen on April 29th, specifically because, of course, when the game comes out on Tuesday, I'll still be in school, so we won't have time to actually do the race that specific day. So we'll do the race on 29th to make it fit in with my schedule. And that's, of course, assuming that things go according to plan. Obviously, people's schedules might change to where we won't be able to do the race. In the situation where that does happen, I'll just do a race, or not a race, but a long stream by myself, where I hopefully beat the game in one sitting. And after I do that blind race, or that solo stream of my casual playthrough, either one, I will do speedruns of the game, obviously. Because I pretty much decided that I was going to do that right after I beat the game. And the categories I'll be focusing on are 90%, which is pretty much going to be the default speedrun category when it's first ran. And once a definition is found out for 100%, I will do runs of that as well. And I'll also be glitch hunting for out-of-bounds tricks in that category. In both those categories, I mean. I've glitch hunted with Outlast 1 before, but in very minor ways. And I want to continue that with Outlast 2, but find more major tricks than just tricks for meme categories that I did for Outlast 1. Alright, so this last thing that I want to go over as we get to the end of the video that I'm playing in the background here is just one thing about my stream, just a little thing, and that is I want to do more casual playthroughs of games on my stream. I've done that before with a few games, but not very often. And there's 3 particular games I want to do. There's BioShock, which I saw ran at SGQ last year, and I think that'll be a pretty fun FPS to play on stream. The Last of Us, which is a very good survival horror game. And Nekopara Volume 2, which, yeah, we're going to the more weeb side of things, by the way. I did a stream of a visual novel before with, I believe, Sakura Spirit, but it did not go very well, so I want to give it another try with Nekopara Volume 2. So there's that. This is my first time trying this sort of thing, so I don't know if it actually went well, but you know, just my first time trying this, so probably didn't go that well, but you know, it's worth giving it a shot. Just wanted to update you guys on a few things, and keep enjoying speedruns.